What's good? So I'm back with another one, and today I'm about to give y'all a breakdown on the analysis on where I think gold may be going at for tomorrow. But overall, I think it's gonna start back buying. But if you don't want to listen to nothing else after you hit me out on this, I believe that it's gonna sell for 5.5. So for Monday, I think that it may be a selling day. That might be the only selling day, and then I think for the rest of the week we're gonna get straight green candles, and it's going to be straight bullish action. And let's go down to the daily chart first. Let's look at the weekly chart because this is the only time I'm gonna look at the weekly. Um, if we look at the weekly, it's been nothing but green, nothing but green. And I know we got a little momentum starting from the past 2 weeks but I believe them just the retracement days. That's a bullish flag. So basically after tomorrow, we're gonna start seeing a lot of green again. It might sell, this ain't really a line right here, but it might sell back to this low. So 32.12, and then after 32.12 today, after it do its little wick, we gonna start seeing a lot of green action. So let's get back to the daily where it look less, that look good though. I ain't even gonna count, but let's get back to the daily so we can see more in depth what's going on. So, and I also want to show y'all my documentation on why I'm feeling this type of way. So as you can see up here at the top, you can see the trends, and the yellow basically that was Good Friday, so obviously we didn't trade around that time because the market was closed. But every yellow line you see right here, that's basically the end of the week. So we had a bullish week, bearish, and then I got the trend streak. The thing about this type of stuff, this type of documentation, people don't really want to, actually people don't be having the time to do it. So that's the main thing. Second, when people do have the time, like me, for the most part, don't be really wanting to do it, because it's much easier to just hop in the market and just go with momentum. But, it's also a greater risk because you don't know, where the market may turn around at and then go, decide to change direction or where the zone's at. So it's always important, to go through your documentations and mark up your zones so you could be more confident on the trades that you take. And that's one thing that I've been failing on doing lately, and I'm getting back into it. That's why I'm creating this video, and hopefully I could just daily, do my markups. And really, I done made it easy for myself because I done came on Google and I done created me, my basically like my blueprint on what price action going at, how many points ticks is moving throughout the day at the end of the day. So yeah, as you can see, it had a nice little trend streak, last week, mostly bearish candles, but to be honest, market was choppy. I ain't even gonna count. If you trade, especially gold, because that's what we focusing on, primarily gold. If gold usually choppy around the time that I trade, and I go take a peek at ES and then just go with the momentum on that for the most part. But I have been noticing with gold during the session times, for the most part, it's choppy, and then around noon or afternoon, it tend to kind of trend a certain direction, whether it's a slow creeping trend or it like to show its little volatility and just go the direction that it wanted to go. But it has been moving in those bearish movements basically after the session done closed. So after the New York session, so 8 to 10:30 or 8 to 11, it'll just be BSing around. Then around 11:30 to 12 to 1, it'll tend to trend and go the way that it want to go. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. I mean, y'all could take a little screenshot if y'all want to. But this some of the stuff that I'll be doing for y'all, basically doing for myself first, but doing for y'all because, people don't really be having time to do this. And then when you do have time, you really don't want to spend your time doing this. You want to rest, you want to get ready mentally for tomorrow. But, this is my preparation, the way that I'm going to prepare, basically to attack the markets each and every day for here on out, because then that's going to increase my run weight rates, and it's gonna also increase my income. I done lost a account or two off just because I didn't do this alone, and I could have 20x my days or 10x my days, but I took big losses because I was committed to one side when I didn't realize that the market would hit in the key zone and turn it around. But I don't want to say too much. Let's get back on this day chart. Basically, like I was saying, shit, it might not even go past last Friday low, but if it do break the low, I believe that if it keep going, we just might get a downward trend. I am gonna trade live tomorrow, and I'm gonna go wherever the flow is going. But for the most part, I'm looking for a sell day tomorrow. I'm looking for opportunities when it's showing that it's on the downtrend. I'm hopping in and I'm just going with the flow. That's the type of trading I do. I like to go wherever momentum is going, basically, especially when volatility kick in. When volatility kick in and they decide to stick to a certain direction, I'm staying on that. But like I was saying, for the most part, it's been choppy. Even if you could see off my last video where I didn't do too well because I didn't have, the price action into the equation when I was trading live. So this week coming up, tomorrow and here on out, I'm gonna make sure I got price action inside my videos so y'all can see these levels that market tend to bounce off of, and how I tend to just transition and market tend to move in general along with time. I know y'all can't see the time in itself, but I might give y'all little check pointers and stuff and let y'all know what time it is. But yeah, we looking for sales. That's what I'm looking for. So like I say, if y'all don't look at nothing else, I believe in selling today. I'm going to even put it as the thumbnail. So even if you want to be in here for a couple minutes, the first 30 seconds of the video, just to see where my mind at, I feel like it's going to sell tomorrow. But if it's buying, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy. I'm not going to say, hey, it's about to turn around here. Anytime you get in the market and you say, okay, it's going to turn around, you already on the wrong side, I just like to go, that's how I trade. I like to go wherever market is going, and people like to make it too complicated. You'll get at the key zone and say, okay, it's going to bounce right here. If it ain't bounce right there, guess what it's going to do? It's going to keep going and it's going to put you behind and draw down. And sometimes it do turn around, but for the most part, I don't like to trade like that. I just like to get in where the market going at, especially when it's not choppy. For the most part, like I was saying, it's been choppy lately. I just want to keep regurgitating that because people get in at these zones and it just bounce up and down off these zones, hitting stop losses, and market been beating people up lately. Especially, they say it's Trump, but the volatility done change. I can't put it on Trump. Market just moving that type of way. More people trading, more people learning how to trade, and they go trade where people getting in at, where most of the buyers and sellers are getting in at, because they going to collect their dues before they end the day or go wherever they intended to go. And y'all see the markups, y'all see my zone levels, these from the past few days. That's a whole nother story in itself. I really ain't seeing too much about numbers or where it's going to hit at, because this is Monday and who knows, market could do $1,000 play. If we pull back up my notes, you can see how many pills market been, or points. I like to say pills because I didn't came from Forex. But basically, you can see how many points have been moving. That's 1,000. That's 1,300. That's 1,250. And that's a 700 point day. So the market really been humming lately. Last week it was pretty much slow because it was chopping up, for the majority of the sessions. But then after the sessions close, it tend to go 200 points towards the intended direction that they wanted to go. And that's just me simplifying things the best way I can. So, this video shouldn't be too long. This just me, breaking down my little chart analysis. And also, as we go along in the week, I'm actually let my videos be like my notations on what the heck market did, because I got a great memory because I'm used to trading and just remembering what times that market tend to behave a certain type of way. So it is what it is, and yeah, I appreciate y'all locking in with me. I will be back with another one, especially tomorrow, because I will try to live trade. I do got to work early tomorrow, but I might do some trading and work, and we're going to see how that go. But hopefully, I could catch me a decent play before I get on the clock. That's just me being real with y'all. But I appreciate y'all locking in with your boy. I'll be back with another one. Peace.